Dentists and eyeglasses, opticians here in the Philippines. You can find ophthalmologists as well, and I'm going to give you some of my experiences 9 years in Cebu City and some experiences of others that I know, subscribers and friends, and some of the information that I've gotten from them over the years. First, let's talk about optical care, the opticians, the eyewear stores. There are a lot of them, and you'll find them in the big city, in the malls, on the streets. You'll find them in the provinces. Um, I have a very strong far-sighted. Most people are nearsighted. I have very strong far-sighted prescription, like 7 plus something, and astigmatism. So my glasses would be very, very, very thick unless I paid a lot extra for very thin material. And that affects my vision a little bit, affects my distance vision primarily. But I pay extra for that. I usually pay extra for lighter, like maybe titanium lenses. And my experience here was that the titanium lenses that I thought I'd paid a lot extra for here in the Philippines, found out later were not actually titanium, as they broke, and people used a magnet, and they said, no, these are not titanium. Titanium would not react to a magnet like this. I will give you a hint right off the top, though. I have found I think there are a couple Japanese branded optical shops here in the Philippines, and I broke my frames here a while back, and just happened to go into one of these. They were usable still, and I was using them, but I was in a mall and I found this little Japanese shop in there, modern, and they had a good pair of frames in there for a lot less than I found in many of the other stores I went into. I also have used contacts since I was in college off and on. I'll wear them and then my glasses. And so I bought two different pairs of glasses here in the Philippines. And I've had my eyes checked. And here's the deal with contact lenses: I could not find anybody except one person in the Philippines, well, in the malls in Cebu City, that had the equipment to measure your eye properly to fit contacts properly. And I had a bit of a bad experience for a number of different reasons with that guy there. He told me, no, we don't go to college. We do on the job training, and I have nothing against on the job training, but I bought a lot of glasses over the years, and I just wasn't quite happy with the the proper fitting, helping me pick the frames, and all that sort of thing. When I take my glasses off, basically I can't see much, and I depend upon an optician to guide me in choosing. And he gave me a very large pair of frames, and he says, how did that look? I said, I don't know. What do you think? Does it look good on me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I bought the lenses, and apparently they don't make lenses here in the Philippines. And the first time my lenses came from Japan, I think, and the second time they came from Zeiss, very famous lens maker in Germany, and it took about 10 days for them to get to me also. But the bottom line is glasses here, my expensive type of glasses, getting the thinner, lighter material and the anti-scratch and polarizing, whatever else I buy, costs me as much or more as it does in the USA. So if you're looking for a bargain, I would say I think Vietnam has a lot of their own optical manufacturing facilities. Thailand might, but I don't believe the Philippines does. I did buy. This guy did sell me a pair of contacts from a Philippine manufacturer, and I did not like them at all. After about 6, 7, 8 hours, it looked like I was looking through a honeycomb. And I tried to do some research on the company, couldn't find hardly any information on the manufacturer. and the type of material. I complained to the optical company that prescribed them for me, and he just kind of looked at me like, oh, "Tough luck, son. You know, it's not like, well, let's try something different. Let's try a different manufacturer." Um, so you know that's something you might get in many different fields in the Philippines, because like warranties here are like 7 days exchange. You don't get a refund. You might get an exchange on something, but normally don't. And this attitude that, well, hey, you bought it, it's yours now. It's yours now, so it's your problem type thing. And even I've asked, because I've had a lot of experience with in the U.S. too with lenses that didn't come in properly. I always get these no line bifocals, and that costs extra as well. And I've had them come in, and they just the focus point was way off. And the companies in the U.S. That happened a couple times, and they checked them and said, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. The focus point is not where it should be." They sent them back, had them redone. No charge to me. And I've had once I had the wrong frame came in. Lenses came in the wrong frame, and then I've had them come in with one thin lens and one very thick lens. And right away I brought that to the attention of the store, and they said, "Well, that's probably your prescription, sir." This was in the USA. I said, "No, no, no. It's not. Check my prescription." If that's how they wrote it up, they definitely wrote it up wrong, and then they found out, yes, indeed, it it was not. I'm supposed to get two thin lenses, not one thick one. So I've had bad experiences as oftentimes as not in the U.S. Unfortunately. But almost everybody in the U.S., every optician can test your eyes for contacts as well as glasses and prescribe those to you and have the proper equipment. But here, very difficult to find an optician that can actually measure your eyes for contacts if that's your concern. If you have a contact prescription that's less than a year old, there are contact lens shops that will prescribe you, and oftentimes will have them in stock. I've got a friend that went in, got a very good deal, and he said, "Yeah, the lenses I bought in the store in the mall were actually better than the ones that I had from the USA." That was his opinion anyway, and relatively inexpensive. I think I paid about $100 equivalent for my contact lenses, and I actually gave up on those, and I had brought some contacts from the USA, and I went back to using them, and they actually give me more comfort and better vision than the ones I bought here. If you have a fairly common prescription for eyeglasses, I think you should be able to find a optician and get a pair for $100 less, a little more, depending upon how many bells and whistles you want. Anti-scratch and polarized, different things that you can get there, and depending upon the lenses that you choose as well. Now let's talk about dentists, dentistry, teeth, and all that kind of stuff. I have been to 3 dentists here in the Philippines. I have a playlist on my channel about medical, dental types things. So I've done a number of videos about the cost of dentistry here. But yeah, I've used 3 different dentists. When I first came here, I think I needed to get a root canal, and place I stayed, there was a dentist just around the corner from there. Went in there, and interesting thing, a couple different things. Dentistry is almost always much less expensive here, but I have not had one X-ray here in the Philippines. And I have read, yeah, it's not very common unless they see that they need to do a procedure where it's important for them to get an X-ray. And I read an article recently in some news source that said even in the U.S. they're starting to question, maybe we're giving too many X-rays in the dental office. Probably don't need a lot of these X-rays. We can see what's going on If there's a problem, and then if we really need the X-ray, then we can do the X-ray. So maybe the Philippines is ahead in that category. One thing that happened to me, and has happened to many of the people that I know and friends, subscribers, is that um, various dentists were in the U.S. A dentist usually is able to do and equipped to do anything and everything. Well, here apparently they have different levels of training. Because I need an extract several years ago. I need an extraction, and the lady dentist couldn't do it. She brought in a different dentist uh, from another office to come in, and I think it cost me 1,100 pesos. And I don't know how they split that up. If he got it all, or he paid her some of it, or how they did that. But I've had many other expats, friends, subscribers tell me similar stories. Yeah, I had to go here, and they could do this part, they could do the cleaning, but this other bridge or something, I had to go to this other doctor, and then something else, I had to go to the different dentist type thing because they just weren't trained, didn't have the proper equipment to do that type of thing. So don't be surprised. And this is in Cebu City. And Green Apple Dentistry in Ayala Mall was one of those. A friend of mine early on, several years ago, said, yeah, he had to go to two other dentists after he went to the first one at Green Apple. They sent him to another one, then that one sent him to somebody else to get something else done. So interesting. Also, dentists will vary quite a bit in their pricing. I've checked the number pricing, and I was recommended Ruffalo, RUFLO dental clinics. I think they've got like 5 or 6 of them here in Cebu City metropolitan area, and they post their prices, and I've got a video with that information up there. If I can find the price list again, I'll put it at the end of this video. But much less expensive. Um, some of you would want to know about dentures and that type of thing. And yeah, I think the one thing on the price list, of course, it depends. You got different materials. You've got your own situation, how many teeth you need, and the type you want, the material you want it made out of. That affects the price. But I think the one list was for 12,000 for a set of dentures, and I think that was a full set. I don't think it was just the top or the bottom. I've had a guy tell me he paid 20,000, but I've had a friend that had some implants put in, a number. In fact, he had all the testing done before the pandemic, and then the pandemic came, and it took him like a year to finally get that implant. The first time it came in, it didn't fit properly. So I don't know what the problem was, if the pandemic created the big problem, or if the lady dentist used that cash to support herself in the meantime, and then eventually made enough money to go ahead and order the proper implant. But there are a lot of different implants too, and you really need to get checked out by a dentist that does that type of thing, and hopefully somebody that does quite a bit of it. I did a video from some information I got years ago, and I will put another video up here in the future about implants. But it's such a personalized decision, and different options, that it's difficult really to even you find price ranges on the internet, depending upon your situation. They could be less or a lot more, and they may work, they may not work in the end. So there's some risk involved in that. Now, as far as payment, I think a lot of these dentists, as well as doctors, are not really set up to take credit cards, which is really amazing. And it's still a big cash society, and I think they appreciate the cash as well. If they don't have to write out a government approved receipt, then they don't have to pay tax on that type of thing. But yeah, I've asked a couple places, and yeah, we don't take credit cards, or they have to go use somebody else's credit card machine. And I had my last dentist that I got really good deals, really good prices. He took the credit card the first time, their office people did, but the next time when I came to pay a larger bill, they said no. The dentist, he owns like 5 or 6 different places, and hires the dentist. He said he doesn't want to pay that 3% charge, so we don't take credit cards anymore. So I didn't have the cash, so they said, well, just bring the cash next time you come, which was going to be a week or two later. And so I did. I had to go to the trouble going to the bank, withdrawing the cash and that type of thing, because it's so convenient to use a credit card and then just pay the credit card off, and rather than carrying around that much cash. Anyway, keep that in mind. Uh, Hopefully that helps. So it gives you a little bit. Your experience could be different than my experience with opticians. You can find ophthalmologists. A lot of the hospitals have dental clinics as well as ophthalmologists on site, so that is also an option. The malls usually have one or many. So anyway, take care, and we'll see you next time.